Welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this, my friends, is the Thunder Show. And that's that. Great show. Excited. Just 2 wines. Thought I had 3 Taurasi wines in stock, but one is missing. I'm not sure. We just did inventory last night, Mott. I don't know if there was a little stealing or a little misshipping or a little drinking on the job. I don't know, but missing in action. So we go with 2 wines from the Taurasi region in Italy, east of Naples. A really intriguing area within Campania. And Joe D'Angelo recommended that we do this show. So Joe, here I am, Gary B, execute. Third person. Sorry. Mott, I don't do it often. And when I do, I get so angry. So I apologize. Here I am, Joe, doing a show on Taurasi wines. What should we know about Taurasi? There's a lot to know. Actually, let's start right here, Mott. Zoom in right here. Mastro Birodino is one of the Taurasi wines we're having, the Radici. They were really the only producer of Taurasi wines coming into the U.S. in the early 1990s. There was just no Taurasi wines to be found in the United States. And then slowly but surely, as we got into the later half of the 2000s, a lot more, 2005 to 2010, just a lot more producers popping up. The dominant grape varietal in Taurasi is right here. Let's zoom in on this model. Let's see your zoom skills. Aglianico. And every Taurasi wines has to be at least 85% Aglianico. Can be more, as you can see, this one's 100, but must be at least 85%. There are the ability to add 15% of other grapes. Barbera and Sangiovese come to mind, so those 2 are as well. Poderoso is another grape varietal that is allowed to be in the blend. So those 3, Barbera, Poderoso, and Sangiovese, along with a required 85% Aglianico in all Taurasi wines. Became a DOCG in 1993, and has really started to catch people's attention. They can get pricey, Taurasi wines. I remember they were less expensive. Now 48 and 42 bones a bottle. So premium quality Italian wine from Campania. Let's get right into it. Let's go with the Mastro Birodino 2005 Taurasi Radici, 2005 vintage, 93 points. Antonio Galloni, $48 US. These wines must be aged for 3 years prior to release and at least 1 in oak. So these are big wines, hence the big-ass glass is in town. We have not seen the big-ass glass that often lately. We haven't seen the couch in a while. Matt, zoom over there. The couch, it's there. We need
behind the chair.
Just behind the chair. There's coats and stuff on it. There's all sorts of stuff going on. So we will try to get to the couch eventually, dust it off. Maybe as we get closer to 1,000, we get nostalgic. We'll see what happens. We've got some ideas for that. So, let's get into this wine. Sniffy sniff. First thing that comes to mind is that there's a little bit of like a cellar dust, chalkiness, almost like the way a basement or an attic would smell. Kind of like, abandoned. Black fruit, so really good blackberry, black currant even. Beautiful nose. A little hint of like black pepper as well. And kind of like chopped meat. It's kind of like meaty to me. Kind of like salami and like a meat charcuterie. Just there's some meatiness to it. Nice wine. Kind of mesmerized. I don't know if you noticed. For a second, I kind of went away. I was kind of like in the zone, running through the fields, picking the grapes, loving them. By the way, big shout out to all of you guys. Lots of comments last week. I feel like the tide is. I feel like my energy is. I feel like. I feel like our collective energy is growing. I love seeing the, lurkers coming out and playing. You guys have been noticing I've been commenting a little bit more. I'm going to try to push that envelope even more. So I'm really enjoying that. I appreciate it. I think some of the shows are stronger. I'm excited about some of the shows got lined up for this week. May see a brown paper bag. May see the old man. May see some Finger Lakes. I'm excited about it. So, all right, let's get into it. Little sour cherry in the tail end as well. Big wine really comes across as like a chocolate bar with like big acidity and minerality. When I first attacked it, all I could think was Milky Way. And not like, let's take a shoot up there and go to the Milky Way galaxy, but Milky Way, the one that you can pick up for like $3, a buck. How much are candy bars these days? Like $1.50, right?
That sounds right.
That feels right? So like there's this Milky Way component, real chocolate, almost milk chocolate thing going on. Then there's some cherry. The alcohol's kind of aggressive on the back end here on the finish. 13.5 alcohol content, but it feels like a little bit more. So it feels a little bit to me like I'm having a chocolate bar and like a raspberry jam thing, and it's delicious, and then I'm chasing it with my uncles with like a shot of Grey Goose. So solid, but a little hot on the back end. Aglianico can get a little aggressive, and this one is for me a little bit. 93 points, Antonio Goloni. Now, Antonio Goloni is one of the great Italian wine critics, and he's getting a little more excited about this wine than I am because I think the alcohol is off balance. However, I started with the bad stuff. Let's finish with the good stuff. It's like parenting. You yell, you punish, but you're a great kid. There's a lot of nice things going for this. Silky, velvety. The mouthfeel is tremendous. And more importantly, I can see this pairing spectacularly with a big, big meat dish. And that comes to mind, wow, this really should be paired with food. Great structure, great backbone. I like this kind of like coal. That's what it's coming across to me as. Coal, component to it. So it's smoky a little bit of gaminess, but coal. Minerality of the rocks, and then just coal. Like it's dark smoky. I don't know what that was. Good wine. Very good wine. I'm going to score this wine 90 points. To me, this is what it represents. $48. Push it. Pushing a little bit. Push it real good. Pushing it a little bit too much for me on the price point, $35. I'd feel better about this wine. But if I've never had a Taurasi wine, this would be a great expression of classic textbook. You can really taste the Aglianico. Really well made, good structure. Overall, very nice wine. 90 points, nothing to kick out of bed. And let's move on. Good stuff, Mott. I don't hate it. But it's aggressive. Mott, I gotta admit, got a little nostalgically sad right now. Just all of a sudden, for a second, felt like, not nostalgically, it wasn't that long ago. I guess I'm not totally over it. Just kind of thought like, I could be going to Dallas tomorrow. I was planning on leaving Tuesday, We're right there, man. I saw Danny Zavala, an employee here at Wine Library, who's a Steelers fan. I just saw him. That made me think of it, so get a little sad. Anyway. What could have been. Terra d'Ora di Apollo. Taurasi, 2004. Great vintage for Taurasi. 94 points, Antonio Goloni. $42 US. Terra d'Ora is a tremendous producer. I find their white wines to be spectacularly well done. Great prices. And I'm a fan. On the sniffy sniff, I don't remember if I rinsed, so I'm just going to rinse. I think I did, actually, when I was getting nostalgic, but I'm just going to rinse one more time. 2004. It's a little funkier than the last wine. There's a little bit more stinky stink, but not too much. It's definitely not earthy or Burgundian, but there is a little hint there. It smells a little, I don't know, like a little like a... This is so weird. I've never used this term before, but it popped in my head, and I roll unfiltered to you guys. It smells a little bit like a scab. Kind of like, I don't know, like, like dried up blood a little bit kind of thing. Gross, sorry. Really nice kind of like strawberry fruit on the back of that scab. So it's kind of like you popped a scab and a little strawberry. Delicious. I mean, that would be a lot of fun. It's like a cartoon thing. So good real minerality popping in this wine as well. And that's what I kind of find. These wines are very fresh and focused. Good minerality, the acid kind of thing going on. I like these wines. They're really balanced. And there's a little hint of cocoa, kind of like cocoa powder, like Swiss Miss when you just put the powder and like those little weird like marshmallows, like what? Like put it in, By the way, question of the day. Here we go. Well, I'll do a wine question as well, but it'll bring out some more lurkers. If you don't know much about wine, you're scared to answer the question today, here's one to pop out. I want the lurkers. I'm enjoying these new people. A lot of fresh blood, scab, in the forum. Hot cocoa, milk or water? That is the side question today for a lot of lurkers or people just looking to answer for the first time. And it's not even close. This dismantles that. Makes me rethink the 90. Elegant, powerful. the thing that comes to mind is like firecrackers. Like, as I was tasting this wine, there's this great elegance, almost Bordeaux-like elegance. And then all of a sudden, again, this is also 100% Aglianico. There was like these bursts of blueberry coming through, literally. And it's Canton. It's delicious. It's a more delicious wine. The alcohol is more under control. It's smoother. Really shows a great balance and has all that minerality that I liked about this wine and the power, because that's what these wines have. They have power. But this wine has much more elegance and more delicious factors. There's a cranberry meets pomegranate concoction going on here on the palate. The explosion of those blueberry flavors as I'm tasting it, and a great long chocolatey kind of, and so I did say cocoa powder in this one, right? That chocolatey component continues, and flavor profile continues to balance on the finish, and it's almost like a dusty chocolate back to the powder. Really translates well on the palate, because there's a little bit of that. This is really well made. I really like this. And Galoni's pretty conservative, which is why the 93 here threw me off. He went 94 here, which is humongous for him. And you know, I don't like to go 94 often, but I'm kind of going to agree with him. This is spectacular. I'm going to score this wine 94 points. This is you know, put on your sweatbands and your wristband and go run track to the local wine shop, find this wine, Google this stuff up, because this stuff is spectacular. And at $42, I would say is a steal. This reminds me of many $70 to $80 top flight Italian wines. And if you're looking for a special bottle of wine and you're looking to expand your palate, this is going to hit a lot of home runs, because it's got enough of the delicious factor, enough of that fruit to appease to that cold Cabernet fan, but that elegance and balance and structure that's going to sing to that Burgundy and Bordeaux fan, and enough Italian to sing and dance for every Brunello and Barolo fan. Fantastic wine. Beautiful. You know? Mila Kunis, beautiful. She's on the mind today, but anyway, tomorrow, little plug. I'm not going to tell you what it is. There you go. That's all you get. That's all you get. But I just taped another video that you'll see tomorrow on WineLibrary.com. Had some people comment they missed out on the big offer from Con Valley. Tomorrow's a sick deal, and it's a house wine, 15 bones. CKCs, come out and play if you're 21 and older. WineLibrary.com, Mott, link that up to the banner page that we're running tomorrow at 10 a.m., right? 10 a.m. Check that out. It was phenomenal. Excited about that. And excited in general about the energy. Getting very close to 1,000, you know? What a journey. Thank you so much, all of you. And go out and discover Aglianico, and go out and discover Taurasi, because this show, more than anything, well, first and foremost, a family, which you guys are, thank you. But more than anything, I want you to try new things, discover new things. It's an education and entertainment, I hope. Not too many wine shows dropping Mila Kunis, you know, logic. So, the question of the day. I did you a little side question of the day. Let me give you another question of the day. $15 house wine. Yep. What is your house wine? What is the wine that you collectively, let's say in 2010, drank the most day to day? And link it up. You don't need to link it to WineLibrary.com. No, I'll take it. Link it up to wherever you want. Could be even our competitors, to, you know, the wine searching sites, Google results, whatever you want. Link it up so that your fellow Vayniacs in here can check it out and maybe go out and try based on your recommendations. Let's community it up. Community it up. You, with a little bit of me. Did you hear what I said, you? That it went so loud that this... Did you hear that? Mm-hmm. On the glass. Play that back. It was neat. You! Yeah. Hear it? With a little bit of me, we are definitely changing the wine world.